Hello and welcome to another Get On With Maths video. Today in this Gradu8 video we're going to have a look at rationalising the denominator. So there are 8 questions around the grid. What I want you to do now is to pause the video, have a go at the 8 questions, and when you're ready unpause and we'll go through them. So pause the video now and have a go. Okay guys, hopefully you've had time now to work through those questions. I'm going to go through each of them, just sort of outlining what you need to do. And although these look quite difficult, they're relatively simple once you get going. So this first one then is 2 over root 3. Okay, and the way we're going to cancel out that root 3, because we don't want any square roots on the bottom, what we want to do is get rid of them. The easiest and the simplest way to get rid of them is to just times them by themselves. So I'm going to times that by root 3, and then have root 3 up here as well, because this number is essentially 1 laid out in a different format. So when you times the root of 3 by the root of 3, what you've effectively got is the square root of 3 times 3. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and the square root of 9 is 3, so all that happens is the bottom just becomes 3. On the top then, we've got 2, and that times is by the root 3. So you just leave it like this, okay? So that's our final answer there. So it's 2 root 3 over 3. You've rationalised it, which means you've got rid of that square root on the bottom. It doesn't matter that there's one up here now, you've got rid of that one on the bottom. So let's look at this question here then. So you've got root 3 over root 7. So to cancel out, you're going to times it again. This time, remember, times it by what's on the bottom. So that's root 7, and then you've got root 7 up on the top here. Well, root 7 times root 7 is going to cancel itself out. So you're going to have 7 on the bottom of your fraction. Now, when you times roots together, so root 3 times root 7, that's going to look like this. So you can have your square root symbol, and it's 3 times by 7. Well, what is 3 times 7? It's 21. So you've got root 21 over 7. Okay, and that's absolutely fine to have on the bottom of that one. Okay, not a problem at all. You've cancelled it out, it really isn't a worry. So this next question then, if you're looking at this one here, what you need to do then is to cancel out the bottom. Again, you've got a third on the bottom here, a root on the bottom here. You're going to times it by root 3. Times by root 3, times by root 3. So, on the top, you're going to go 7 root 3. On the bottom now, remember those 3's are going to cancel each other out. The root 3 times root 3 is 3. So you've got 4 times by 3, which is 12. So you've got 12 on the bottom here, and then you've got 7 root 3 over 12. Okay, so really, really simple. Okay, so I'm going to move down to this question down here then. So you've got 5 and then root 3 over 6 and then root 12. Okay, this is the one I'm interested in here, this root 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to times everything by root 12. Okay, so root 12 over root 12. Now, when I do this, okay, if I'm looking at this one here, what's going to happen is this 12 and this 12 will cancel each other out, so they become a normal 12. So on the bottom in a second, you're going to have 6 times normal 12. Okay, I'm just going to leave that stage of workings there, and we'll just go focus on the top for a second. If up here, okay, I'm going to do 5, and then I've got root 3 times by root 12. Well, remember what I said up here about when you times roots together? So you're going to have 5 times, and then you've got root, what's 3 times 12? So 3 times 12. It's going to give you root 36, okay? So let's just pause and think about that for a second. Root 36. Well, you know you can square root 36. That just gives you an answer of 6. So effectively, what we've got on the top now is we've got 5 times 6. That's a weird looking multiply sign there, isn't it? And then 6 times by 12, it's going to give us 72. Okay, so I can just simplify that top again. Squeeze it in here. So you've got 30 over 72. So this one now is just a completely normal looking fraction. If I was simplifying this one, so I've got 30, I'll write it down here to fit it in, over 72. Well, both of those are in the 6 times table, so they can both divide by 6 to give us 5 over 12. Okay, so look how what starts as something quite difficult and quite complicated over here simplifies quite nicely to this fraction here. Okay, let's move across to this one then. This is a relatively easy one. Again, you're going to times by root 2 over root 2. Okay, so that's going to cancel it out on the bottom, so you've just got 2, and at the top here you've just got 3 and root 2. I reckon those are the easiest style of questions you're going to see. It's just about making sure you times those properly. So if I move down to this question over here then, so you've got 5 over 4 root 3. I think you already know what you're doing, but you're going to have a look at what that root sign is, and you're going to multiply it by it. So root 3 over root 3 times by our original fraction. If we're looking at the bottoms first of all, because I think that's always a little bit easier, if you think about this 3, it's going to cancel out this 3, so it's just a kind of a normal 3, so you're going to have 4 times by 3, and at the top there you've got 5, and then obviously that's multiplying by the root 3, so we just put those next to each other. So 4 times 3, that's relatively simple, it's just going to give us 12, and then you've got 5, and then root 3 there. Okay, so just have a look at that one again. Really, really simple steps and stages just to make sure you're doing exactly what you need to do. So this next one then, we're trying to get rid of this on the bottom, so we're going to times everything by root 2 over root 2. Okay, so that's going to instantly then help us out a little bit, because on the bottom here we're going to end up with that 2 cancelling out, so you're going to have on the bottom, you're going to have 3 times 2. And on the top, so you're going to have 8, and then our root 5 times our root 2 is going to give us root 10. So now we've got 8, 10, and then 3 times 2 is 6, so 6 goes on the bottom, and then you've got 8, and then root 10. Okay, so that looks relatively simple. What I will say is, just like normal fractions, you can simplify these if the numbers work out quite nicely. So none of the ones we've done so far really did this, but if you look at both of these, you know both of these are even numbers, which means you can halve them, so you can halve that. So you have 4, keep your root 10 as it is, and then half of 6 is 3. On to the other side then. Last question now here, root 2 over root 3. You're going to times them both by root 3, there we go, and root 3. So on the top of your fraction, okay, you're going to have 2 times 3, and on the bottom there, that's going to cancel itself out to give you 3. And then on the top, 2 times 3, obviously all within the root of 6, and then just 3 on the bottom. Okay guys, that's rationalising the denominator. I think it's a lot easier than it looks. I think the best way to do this though is to just practice. So get yourself some more questions on this and try and work through them. Remember to look at the other videos in our Gradu8 series, and good luck guys.